Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Erlenmeyer post light. This is the 347295. It's also some other great Erlenmeyer fixtures, outdoor sconces, hanging fixtures. Check them out if you guys get a chance to do that. Let's get into the size of the fixture itself, and that's going to be from the very top down to the bottom of the round collar that's going to slip over your mounting option. 17.1 inches tall. And then diameter is coming in at 12.1. So it is 10.2 pounds because it's glass and aluminum, and we'll get more into the aluminum part of this later in the story. And why don't we touch on glass really quick? So the glass is this beautiful hand-blown glass that Hubbardton Forge has done for them. The bottom of this is incredibly thick. I don't know if you can even get an idea of how thick this is. Very substantial, their glass. I mean, really substantial. This is incredibly heavy for what it is. They never need to go in this kind of detail, but they do. So their quality is unmatched. So beautiful piece. We'll put it right here so you guys can continue to look at it. I'll put it right there. Okay. I want to talk about a couple other things. Why don't we talk about the mounting options on this? So that round collar is going to be able to go over quite a few things. We offer a 71-inch post, which is round. It has a flange on the bottom, and that flange is going to come with these J-bolts. And the J-bolts are basically going to set in concrete. And a way to show you a little bit more information about that is to look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over that side of the screen, midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. Open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list, how to put the glass on, which is super easy. But it's also going to show you information about the flange on the bottom of that fixture and how it works basically in concrete at the end of the day. You can also put it onto a pad like concrete or like a wooden deck or something like that as well. Anyway, so you'll see lots of good info there, so take advantage of it if you can. Okay, so you got a 71-inch post which can be cut down to size in the field, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you can have a 3-inch pier mount. And 3-inch pier mount is going to be able to let you put this onto, like, let's say a stone pier, stone wall, something like that. Maybe wooden posts going up, those would be nice too. And that'll have the same kind of flange on the bottom, and same deal with the installations instructions. It'll show you how you bolt those onto that. So if you're in a situation where you're going to be putting this in the yard and some mulch or some lawn, and you're going to be using that 71-inch post, and it's going to be below grade, which means you're going to dig a hole, put some concrete below grade, and then later on you're going to come back when it's all cured, and you're going to end up putting some mulch or some grass on top of it. You are not going to need the cover cap because that's really to hide the attachments down below. If you're going to use these on a wall or a pier or something above that you're going to be able to see where it all attaches, yes, that's where you're going to use this cover cap. It slides over what you're doing and it hides those pieces on the bottom. Base cover cap, actually. Now, if you have your own 3-inch round post, this will work on that too, so you don't necessarily have to buy it from us. However, if you are going in that direction, it's usually better to order a black finish because you can always paint your post black, and it's going to be easier to do that than any other thing. Okay, why don't we hop into what's going on inside of this as far as lamping goes. People have a big question on what kind of bulbs to use. It's going to be using just a medium base socket, so it's a very easy bulb to find everywhere. If you want to stick with incandescent, you can still do that up to 100 watts using an A19, which is the standard small light bulb. Not so much small, this is what we all grew up with, a standard size light bulb. So 100 watt max because of the heat generated by that incandescent bulb. If you want to go LED, you know, the sky's the limit on whatever you want to put in here, as long as it makes it into the glass. And there's a few things here that well, there's one that we use in our showroom right off the bat. So this is an Edison bulb. See how it's tapered? It's wider at the bottom. It tapers up quite a bit, has a little point on it. So these come incandescent, but this is actually an LED version I picked up at Home Depot, and medium base on it, so it's very simple. But it has kind of a cool old-timey look, so that's why I like to use it. And I use this in other places in our showroom too, on other Hubbardton Forge fixtures. Now, that said, if you don't want to go to the expense and time to find this, but it is easy to get, so Edison bulbs, you can find them online too. You can also go for something like this, and both of these are what are called phosphorus LEDs, and they have those long strips inside that are orange. They do the same kind of job. The electricity goes through these things and they get really bright. This is a 100 watt equivalent that I got at Home Depot in a 4-pack, and it was very inexpensive, I thought. Good color coming out of it as far as the light goes. It was dimmable, not that you're going to want to dim this, but it was there if you need it, and I thought it was a pretty good value. I have found this also in Lowe's, Home Depot, let's see, Ace Hardware, True Value Hardware, places like that. Amazon's got them. There's lots of other websites that sell bulbs as well. So that's another way you could go, because it actually has a little bit of the look of the Edison bulb, but it's easier for you to get. So you can tell your installer, or you can just go scout yourself. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use a bulb like this. I think aesthetically it isn't very nice to put this in that nice piece of glass. So let's just nix this idea for now and kind of go back over to these guys. You're going to find out when you go out that they're going to offer these in different colors of light coming out in Kelvin temperature, and it's going to start off at 2700 Kelvin. That's that super yellow kind of setting sun color of light coming out of bulbs. They're going to offer these to you in something called daylight, and that sounds like it should be a warm light like sunlight, but it's not. It's actually a bluish white light like you see like in a convenience store, maybe an overcast day. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom, and I talk about it all the time, is warm white or soft white. That's 3,000 Kelvin. The light coming down on me right now, that's 3,000 Kelvin, warm white, soft white. So that's what I would probably end up using in here. I might actually, believe it or not, go back to a 2,700 Kelvin just to see what it looks like. You could try out both and see how it goes. Now, if you're going to be using this in a situation maybe around a pool, and maybe you guys do want to dim it, just buy dimmable bulbs. Hubbardton Forge only uses aircraft-grade aluminum to make their outdoor fixtures. Aluminum holds up the best in incredibly harsh environments. When you're out and you look up in the sky and you see all those jet airliners running around up there, those are all made out of aluminum for a reason. And part of that reason is it holds up great, like I said. It also forges beautifully. It holds finish beautifully. It doesn't rust. Remember that. It's very important. And they're virtually indestructible when they're all finished. So how Hubbardton does it is they take the fixture itself, they're going to wire it up at the top, they're going to put a wire at the bottom, they're going to send a current of electricity that's going to go through this fixture, making it positive, and they put it into a spray booth with a picture of the woman next to me. You can see she's spraying finish around it, and because it's positive, it's going to adhere to every nook, every cranny, the top, the bottom, the whole thing. After that, they're going to take this and they're going to move it into an oven. That oven is going to melt all of that down and create a very hard shell. So it makes it, again, virtually indestructible. So they've also tested these things in these wind chambers. So they take the fixture, all covered in that epoxy powder coat. It's going to go into that chamber. They're going to shoot salty seawater at it at high velocity for hours and hours and hours, just like you were at the beach and you have like a hurricane coming in, which to me is going to be pretty much the worst environment you're going to run into. So after they tested these and found out that they hold up incredibly well, Hubbardton Forge offers basically the best warranty in the lighting industry. And you can see that on the page for this. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's a link, and click on that and it'll show you the entire warranty and how it all works. Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world at Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks it's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.